Guys at MOZA Racing are constantly, let's say, creating something new, impressing us with quality design and everything else that I stated in all the past videos. And here we have something else, which is a first of its kind in the world. This is TSW truck simulation wheel that is actually quite interesting and in loads of terms, of course, and we'll get to that part during the video, of course. But I wanted to present to you like this because this is not how you're driving actually. You could, there is a possibility, but with the TSW, you have to grab this sort of a double clamp and the possibility to mount your base vertically. And you have possibilities to mount any of the MOZA Racing bases. I have here R12, which at first it did kind of seem strange because I couldn't place the wheel, but then again, you're reverting the base completely and you do need to revert the quick release just to be able to mount it. I know it's a bit strange, but it did happen to me regardless of that. Let's talk about the wheel. So as you can see, we have a classic 4-spoke design and a standard 400 millimeters diameter. It definitely brings the authenticity of truck's control into your hands. We have hand-stitched microfiber leather, blend of comfort and grip without a doubt, because we do have some holes here in this leather part where you're actually grabbing the steering wheel, but then again, if you're driving a truck, you're constantly spinning all around, if I'm not mistaken. Don't get me wrong, I've never driven a real truck, so that's something completely different. And then we have aerospace-grade aluminum frame, which definitely, when we take into consideration past wheels from them and everything else, when we're going from bases to pedals, it definitely brings long-term durability. Now, there's also a possibility to customize RGB buttons and LED lights, because we have loads of those as well, which we will go through. And then we have, of course, this clamp, which brings the whole, let's say, truck driving experience into reality, in terms of you'll be able to mount your wheel, well, basically the base and the wheel on the base in that exact position. And of course, if you don't desire to place it specifically like this, you can actually move it and not rotate it, but push it forward a bit and even place it like this. There is a 90-degree possibility to adjust the base angle. The only problem is if you place this on your regular table like I did, because I didn't assemble my second sim rig yet. Well, that's something I didn't expect to say up front, but regardless of that, I didn't place it on my new sim rig that I still haven't finished, as already stated. And it kind of does a bit go into your legs, but then again, it shouldn't be a problem because you're not furiously driving like in F1, GT or rally or anything similar to that. You have those quick moves on your pedals, or am I mistaken? I'm not quite sure. Let's discuss the wheel. We have the RPM indicator here on top, and then we have a couple of buttons. So we start with res plus, we have the horn, we have set minus, then we have somewhat two scroll wheels on each side, and they are a bit heavier. They have huge tactile feel, which is definitely something different, and you do need to get used to this. Two joysticks, one on each side, and we have left indicator, long lights. The third one I honestly don't know. And then we have windshield wipers. Next to that we have the right indicator, regular lights, settings, and this is something about return home or something, I don't know. Then we have volume up and down, and you have mute button as well. So basically, what does this bring the TSW? It brings some sort of a realistic steering wheel into the world of truck simulation, and it's quite outstanding for you guys that were driving a truck simulator and you were driving it on a regular wheel, or you were driving it on a keyboard, and now you can experience it fully without any problems, because this is quite cool. I do have to admit, this is quite cool, and first in the world to actually have a truck simulator wheel that can be mounted literally on any MOZA Racing base. No, that's not all, of course, because it can be directly connected to a PC via MOZA Universal Adapter, and making it compatible with third-party bases outside MOZA's ecosystem. This is outstanding because it gives you a possibility to use this wheel everywhere where you decide to do, and you don't have to go with completely and entirely with their bases. And that's really nice, because I don't think any other brand will create such a steering wheel. And this brings us to the point where this is definitely a unique one. We have wireless and conductive slip rings, so the steering wheel communication between the MOZA bases and, of course, the steering wheel, which is regular as the FSR and any other steering wheel that you have. And the quick connect is definitely the same, and there is no difference comparing the TSW and the FSR, KS, or anything similar to those steering wheels, because basically they created something outstanding when we're talking about their quick release, and you don't have to worry about anything when we're talking about that. Both thumb wheels and joystick have textured surfaces, which do, well, basically the thumb wheels do provide the tactile feedback as I stated, and it's a bit harder than your regular, like, let's compare it to a volume knob on a keyboard. But that wheel is more free to move, and it kind of is easier to move it. This one is more rigid. The cool thing about the joysticks is that they are designed flat, so there is no unintentional touch or movement on them while driving or anything similar to that, or even turning the wheel. Another great thing, as per usual, the TSW is fully supported with MOZA Pithouse software, and it is kind of outstanding to be backed up with a software that actually is user-friendly, as you already noticed from my past reviews. And here you can basically test the functionality of your wheel, adjust the settings for dual clutch pedal mode, and select between knobs and joystick modes. You can also customize the gear shift indicator, light color, brightness, and timing, and adjust the button colors. So it is basically the same as on any other steering wheel. You can do wonders and even go further, depending on, of course, which base do you use. If you use MOZA Racing base, you can adjust that to give you more immersion during driving, or even racing truck simulator, or even racing trucks. It's all up to you. But for racing, I think there is another wheel that you could use, and not this one. This is just for truck simulator, so it kind of depends. So what I stated earlier, that the clamp can be moved from 0 to 90 degrees, it can be moved from 0 to 75, so just to correct that part. And this position is incorrect, because I'm just wanted to show you in the video when you don't see a B-roll. The steering wheel is placed a bit upwards, so it kind of has the complete flat, it's not complete flat position, it has certain angle, and then up to 75 degrees compared to that. The possibility to use the clamp on a table, and when we're talking about the distance of the clamp, you can mount it on a surface with a thickness from 3 to 70 millimeters. And well, basically, you know, if it's 3 millimeters, then it's definitely aluminium, and you can't actually mount this on a 3 millimeter wood plank. So yeah, there's that. Now, of course, since I've never driven a truck and I've never driven a truck simulator, the experience that I got here was completely something different, which I didn't expect, of course. And driving, you'll most likely see loads of flaws and everything else. And using gloves on this type of steering wheel can and might be funny, might not be funny. For you guys that want to preserve your steering wheels, you'll most likely use your gloves regardless of the truck simulating or whatever. And since you already know that on my FSR and KS and all the other steering wheels that I use for driving, I use the gloves just to protect the steering wheel from any type of sweat or dirt or anything else that will eventually, after some time, ruin the steering wheel for no reason. So why not use gloves, right? Even in this scenario. When we're talking about driving, the cool thing about the steering wheel is that you can, well, unfortunately now it's not turned on in the MOZA pit house, but you can really rotate it, and that's because of the MOZA base. You can rotate it at maximum degrees, the same way that you could do in a truck. And this is really cool, because it kind of does bring the full experience of driving a truck simulator, or at least a truck. So what I experienced is that actually I bought a truck simulator game just to test it out, and it is an experience that you will definitely Well, basically, for you guys that are already used to Truck Simulator, you'll definitely enjoy this and you'll definitely love it. First of all, the quality is immaculate, just like on any other MOZA Racing steering wheel. There's no flaws whatsoever. The stitching is incredible all around. You have stitching right here in between, which looks outstanding, and I can't see any issues whatsoever. It really looks great. Love the difference here on the steering wheel on this parts where you're actually, well, you're not holding a steering wheel like this because this is more like a racing way, but it really kind of gives the diversity of the steering wheel altogether. And this in the middle, loads of buttons, I do have to say. So we have on each side, we have 7 buttons plus the scroll wheel and a joystick, and that's great. At the back, we have a connection if you desire to connect it to the universal hub, and that's it. For you guys that really want to check out this steering wheel, I would definitely suggest buying the clamp immediately, because this will help you get that full experience of truck driving. And if that's something that you're interested in, you can check out the links in the description. But before I go, I really want to state something just in case. This is the first time encountering this type of steering wheel, except when I visited Gamescom and their booth over there. But regardless of that, talking in general about truck and steering wheel and everything else, this was just more sort of a overview, giving you more information about the steering wheel and how it works and what you could do, and that it is nicely backed up with MOZA Pit House. So in those terms, this was more like an overview. Guys that actually drive those truck simulations most likely know already more than I do, and this is just for you guys that want to see more and want to learn more about it. So yeah, there's that. As I mentioned, the link for the TSW is in the description below, as well as for the clamp, so you can check that out. And well, for the base, it all depends on you, and you can go with R5, R9, R12, R16, R21. All of them fit on the clamp, and all are compatible with, well, basically the TSW is compatible with all bases. So I think that's a perfect way to go and basically decide what is suitable for you. Thanks for watching another video with MOZA Racing. The next video will be much more interesting, I promise you that, because we're having loads of cool stuff and that new sim rig that I was talking about. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you quite shortly. Bye bye.